2011 City of Lake Forest Parks and Recreation Board meeting. Thank you all for coming. Happy New Year. And we actually have guests in the audience, so it's very exciting for our first meeting of the year at our new time, 6:30 p.m. So first thing I'd like to do is approval of the November 9th, 2010 board minutes. Could I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The board minutes motion passes. Thank you. Our first agenda item is the Watercraft Impoundment New City Code, and it will be presented by our Lakefront Manager, Sally Swarthout.
Good evening, everyone. The Forest Park Beach provides storage and launch operations for powerboats, fixed-mast sailboats, and small watercraft. The facility is highly utilized, and it provides a unique recreation amenity for our community. In the past few years, we've had a growing concern with our storage facilities. Abandonment of boats, lack of fee payment, and appropriate permitting sees the need for the implementation of a city code for the regulation of these issues. Staff is finding that in this economic climate, boat owners are utilizing Forest Park as a means of unregulated boat disposal. Up on the screen is an aerial view of our sailboat storage compound. There are 28 available spaces within the within the compound for the storage of fixed-mast sailboats. Currently, we have 8 boats in the compound area that are not displaying their 2010 stickers. 6 of those 8 have paid their fees. They've just not applied the permit to the boat. And 2 are in arrears of their 2010 payments. To the right of the screen, along the eastern edge of the screen there, is the sailboat storage rack area. It's a wooden rack out on the beach itself. We currently have 60 spaces available for rent there, as well as 4 spaces on the beach for catamarans. Currently there are 24 in full payment on the racks, and the 4 catamarans you see pictures have also paid for their space. We have 19 watercraft in this area that are in default of payment and permits for 2010. The projected loss, the combination between the compound storage and the sailboat racks, is a little over $9,800 for 2010 alone. It's important to establish a fair strategy for the processing of watercraft that has failed to register and pay fees. Hence the development of the Watercraft Impoundment Code. With that comes an impoundment process that will include notification, disposal, and enforcement. A 7-day notification sticker will be adhered to any undocumented watercraft with a public notice posted in the bulletin board at the facility. The impoundment process for a registered watercraft will include a certified letter to the owner giving them a 30-day notification to pay delinquent fees or remove the watercraft from the site. Should the violations not be addressed, the city will move forward with the disposal process outlined in the proposed code that was attached to your packets. The disposal sequence includes the ascertain of age of the boat and its value, from which point classification as junk or the opportunity for the sale of the watercraft will be determined. Excuse me. The enforcement process will then begin. Prior to this disposal, the boat owner will have the opportunity to request an administrative hearing with the City of Lake Forest Code Hearing Unit to determine the violation and any fees that might be assessed. It is important to communicate policy to the public. Registered letters will be utilized to notify those documented owners that are in violation of the code. To better serve the community, notification of this new code will be provided through the beach brochure insert in the dialogue, which is mailed to every household in Lake Forest. The Lake Forest Yacht Club newsletter, the 2011 permit packets, which are mailed to our current registered boat owners and are hand-issued to any new customers. And we will also post this new policy on the Recreation website. At this time, we'd like to ask, our recommendation is your approval of our watercraft impoundment code so that it can move forward to City Council for their approval. And does anybody have any questions?
What do other cities do?
Currently, other cities have a kind of a hodgepodge of what they're doing. Some are just confiscating, some are leaving, but pretty much everyone on the North Shore is facing the same issue.
Have we had boats in arrears in past years, and are they the same boats year after year, and what have we done with those, or do we tell them to leave?
We have had boats that have been there for a couple of years. We always make a phone call and send a letter to the boat owner that's registered with us, ask them to come clean with their fees or remove the watercraft. We constantly are notifying and searching out who these boats belong to and asking them to remove them from our site.
And then, do we have people, is like, there a waiting list for those slots?
There is currently a waiting list for the sailboat storage compound area. We are in pretty good shape on the sailboat racks.
Okay.
But 19 spots,
That's,
that's quite a bit, and kayak usage is very much up within the city.
and so, but most of those boats, the kayaks are on that sailboat rack
Right.
too, so you can store kayaks there.
Right,
and
kayaks
everything
are
else.
out on the beach storage racks.
And how much is that for the season? Is it a season or is it year round?
It is we sell it in a seasonal, which would be from April 1 to mid-November.
Okay.
There is the opportunity to include winter storage. That would then take you through to March 31st. And several people have utilized that winter storage.
Sally, you mentioned almost 10,000 of revenue that we're losing because of this. Given the waiting list, do we think we'll be able to recover that full amount?
Hopefully we will be able to recover that full amount. We have a boat in the sailboat compound that's been there for a couple of years. And within the compound, the fees are a bit bigger than the sailboat rack.
In terms of the boats that are waiting to use the...
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So
We
we'll
certainly
be
will be able
fully
to fill
booked once
spaces and be full again,
Okay.
with a possible continued wait list.
Are there costs we can expect associated with the disposal process, the auction and all that kind of stuff? What?
Yes, there will be some fees related with storage and disposal, which would be assessed on the owner.
The owner who has not responded to any of our correspondence.
But by implementing a code, we now have the ability to
To
seek.
enforce something?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
to
And the
seek
expectation
restitution.
is that the owner of the boat will pay for any costs we incur in getting it out of there?
Correct.
Got it.
And then so we need to move it off-site, there would be storage as well as towing fees, just as there would be with an automobile.
Got it.
So what happens if we sell the boat, if we determine that it's got a value to it and we put it to auction and sell it, will we keep those funds, or will it go back to the owner minus the fees that we use to sell the boat?
No, we will keep the funds.
We will keep the funds,
Yes.
and then the owners will have to pay for any fees associated with that sale as well.
As well, yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
Did someone from the city, like a city attorney, review it to make sure that what you're proposing is legal?
Yes, this has been to the city attorney. There is a state code that backs this up.
Any other questions?
Sounds like it's long overdue.
I think so. That's great. So you need a motion from us
I do
to
need a
approve this,
motion.
and then it will go to city council at their next meeting to get final approval, or is there a process that, or will it be approved at the next meeting?
If we receive your approval, it will move on to city council's next meeting, and we will be asking for their approval.
Okay, great. Can I get a motion to improve the watercraft impoundment code?
So moved. So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, the motion passes. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
Sally.
Sally, can I ask you one other question about the boats?
Certainly.
Currently, it's my understanding that when you take a day permit, you have to put the date that you're going to use the pass.
Yes.
In a lot of cases, that's not real practical because boating on Lake Michigan is contingent on weather. Is there a reason that we have or that we require a date? If you purchase it, what difference does it make what day you use it?
It was at first implemented that way for record keeping, and then at the request of the police department, because we were having fraudulent use of those passes. But the staff is actually looking into a way to possibly being able to sell that pass on the facility next summer so that it becomes more convenient for our boat users.
Right, because if you're going to use it on the weekend and then you buy it for Sunday and it turns out to be bad weather.
Correct. Right. It makes it very frustrating for the boat owner. So we are looking at a way to ease that process so that daily permitting will be much more fluid.
Okay, great.
Great. Good question. Next is our Lake Forest Fitness Center report, and I would like to introduce our fitness manager, Jason Busdecker. And if you can give us a little background, we would love to hear about it.
Thank you, Chairman, for allowing us to be here and share our program. I know I'm relatively new within the recreation department. I will be coming up on my 1-year anniversary in a couple of months in February, or next month, I guess. It's come up faster than I thought. So I've been working in the health and fitness industry since probably 1995 in various capacities. I've worked in a rehab, outpatient settings, and then moving into fitness management and fitness centers. I do teach for a national personal training organization that I do teach a 2-day workshop preparing individuals who would like to become certified personal trainers. So a little bit of background about myself in a nutshell. So before I get started, I'd like to also introduce our program supervisor, Kim Yessian. Kim has been in the fitness industry for 15 or so years as well. Holds numerous certifications in group exercise, cycling, personal training, numerous things. And I do want to point out one major accomplishment that Kim had this year. Kim actually completed the Ironman triathlon this past year in Madison. So huge accomplishment, 140-mile, 0.6 race in one day. So I think that's worth noting as a major accomplishment. So. Okay, to start off, obviously we are with the fitness center, as we said. Including in the fitness center we do have personal training, group exercise. We do manage the court sports, which is squash, racquetball, volleyball, tennis, and then we also have child care within the fitness center. The child care is a babysitting service that we offer for the members while they're taking part in fitness programming during that time. So we have that as a convenience for those parents that like to utilize that area. Currently, the fitness center has 1,371 members as of December 31st, and growing this month here in January. So over 30 pieces of cardiovascular equipment, treadmills, steppers, ellipticals, bikes, all the different individual pieces of equipment, and over 30 pieces of strength equipment as well, with the dumbbells, free weights, cable systems, and traditional selectorized machines. So we try to provide a little bit of everything for everyone of all different fitness levels.
Jason, how does the 1,371 compare to prior years?
Last year at that point, it is approximately roughly 200 members below where we were last year at this point, last December.
Have we seen a steady decline over the last several years, or is this?
Going back before 2009, I don't recall off the top of my head where the membership was at that point. I did go back to December of 2009 and did see, roughly about 200 members, from last year.
Okay.
So.
Is there a certain group that we're losing membership, like less women or less students, less families? Have you noticed anything?
Probably the one thing that I've noticed is possibly less families. I've seen some people that kids may have gone off to college, so they're renewing as a couple or an individual parent versus a parent plus children.
Okay.
So I have seen some shifts in that regard. So,
Okay.
I'm going to just go ahead and take a minute to talk about the group exercise classes. We have a variety of classes that we offer, and they are based seasonally or and you can join whether or not you are a member, a non-member, and pay by drop-in fee, punch card, or registration. And this is kind of nice because you can be a gym member user and then you might not like to participate in classes, so it's kind of like an a la carte deal. And we have a lot of people who just like to participate in group exercise classes and maybe don't want to be in the gym, so they can do either or and not have to pay for both if they don't want to, or they can have both if they'd like. We also have a variety of classes such as strength, cardio, yoga, Pilates, and dance. And we are in the process of introducing some new classes. If you wanna, thank you. Some of our new classes that we've brought on board are the TRX, and it's one of the latest trends. It's suspension training, and it's weight suspended, so it hangs from the ceiling. And there's over 365 exercises that you can do with it. A Navy SEAL created it so that fitness can be used anywhere, and it literally folds up into a little bag, and I'm really excited to bring it. It's been a great hit. We've had it so far for 3 months, and we're going to take it down to the beach and have beach classes with it. So, and it doesn't matter what your fitness level is, anybody can participate in it. And it's cool because we have 8, and it creates a group atmosphere in the sense of a small personal training. We are also...
How do you do it on the beach?
Yeah, it hangs from the ceiling.
In the classroom setting, it hangs from the ceiling. But the beauty of it is the Fitness Anywhere concept, and we are going to use the Playscape down. There's like a jungle gym swing set, and we're going to use that. It literally can hang off of trees. It can, all you have to do is be able to wrap it somewhere. And it's webbing, the same type of webbing that's used in sailboats and stuff like that. So it's nylon webbing. So it's really a neat concept. I invite everybody to come and try it. Then we also have boot camp classes that we'll be using for the beach, Pilates classes, and we're also going to be doing some kayak classes down there this summer. And in addition to a Race Ready program, which is going to prepare people to run a 5K, it's going to be a 10-week program, and it'll be running on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m., and it'll prepare the beginner runner to learn how to just get ready for your basic race, and it'll prepare the advanced runner how to pick up their pace, how to run a little faster, and get some speed incorporated into their workout program. Is there any questions?
Have you thought about, and I'm sure you have, about doing more classes after work hours and on the weekends for some of the people that work and can't make it the 9 o'clock class on a Tuesday and Thursday? But I mean, they sound like great ideas, but
we actually have had, currently right now on Tuesdays, we have a 5:30 class, which is a boot camp class. We also have a 6 o'clock class on Wednesdays, and which is Zumba. And then on Thursdays, we have a strength and conditioning, cardio intervals type of class where you do weights and cardio. And unfortunately, our usage isn't as high as I would like to see it, and I think what happens is that our members want this, and I am all about making sure that we hit the needs of our members across the board. And then I think their day gets finished, right, and home life and everything else, and they kind of push their workouts aside. But we have continued to put them on the schedule, and as requests come up, I make sure that, you know, we work something out. And the nice part about it is that I also teach classes, so I've been able to create a pretty open rapport with most of the members, and I'm there for them, and they, you know, let me know what's going on. And we're in the process of bringing on some early morning classes also, because that was one of the requests. And I'm just kind of trying to, you know, put it together. About a year ago, I took over the group exercise program, and in the process of that, I really kind of met with a bunch of different members across the board, age and different variables, and talked to them to see what their needs were. And I think in the big picture, we've really regrouped the group exercise schedule, and I think it's pretty successful. It just the night classes haven't taken off as well. And I think part of the other issue too is we share space.
Right.
So, but yeah.
So if we get these people out there more and get the classes more full, then we can offer more classes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
we need to get the word out there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Okay. Currently, our tennis program is a partnership with College Park Athletic Club, and we do a year-round indoor and outdoor program. Currently, during the winter and fall season, we do the indoor program at their location, and then come summertime, we use the park, the city's tennis courts are in various parks around the city and they bring their instructors out to our community, which has worked out really, really well so far. Currently, this past fall season, we just currently finished up. We had roughly about 35 participants in the program, and we run two fall sessions. So in each session, we had 35 participants in the first fall and 35 more in the second fall. And a lot of them were, the same people, just continuing. And looking back at fall 09 numbers, we were more in like the 24, 25 participants. So we have seen this program grow. So the partnership's working out really, really well so far. And classes are offered for both youth and adults. The majority of the participants right now are youth, but we do offer classes for adults as well. Continuing on with the court sports, squash programs. Again, squash programs are run for youth and adults. And currently we also are working with Lake Forest Academy. They are utilizing the courts a few days a week for their practice for their high school team as well. So.
We also have racquetball leagues, which I currently oversee, and within the last year to about 9 months, our racquetball leagues have grown. We had 7 players, and we're now happy to say that it's doubled in size, and as of today, we've got 2 more players. So we have a very large span of skills and strengths, and so that allows us to have an A league and a B league, and we're working on putting together a C league too. So there's a lot going on there.
And lastly is volleyball. I don't know if anybody's ever played or heard of volleyball, but volleyball is basically volleyball inside a racquetball court, and you can utilize the walls to hit off of. So it's an interesting spin on volleyball, and currently we do open that up to the public for rentals, for use for families and groups and whatnot. And we also have a group of city employees that utilize it on Friday afternoons. A couple of specialty programs that are new this year. Currently, the one on the left is our winter golf lessons. We teamed up with Richard Franklin from Circle Systems Golf, who also worked at Deer Path Golf Course over the summer. And he's offering winter lessons indoors at Dickinson Hall in their golf facilities they have currently in the basement. And he's able to do a lot with the limited space you have working indoors. And he uses a video camera to video your swing, and he can analyze it and tell you what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, what you can work on, and I believe you actually do get to take one home so you can watch it and learn that way as well. So that's something new we're starting this year and this winter. Another program on the right, a winter speed and conditioning class, which actually starts January 16th for youth athletes from 10 to 14 years old, open to all sports, boys and girls, doesn't matter. We did a brief program through the month of December, and it was very successful. So we are trying to implement this again before the spring season starts, the kids get back into spring sports and hopefully get outside and get involved in that way as well. So, in our January membership promotion, we are currently, every member that signs up in the month of January, new membership, gets entered into a raffle for a free iPod Nano. And then for current members, any members that they refer in the month of January, that current member gets entered into a separate raffle for another iPod Nano. So people have a couple different ways to enter and to win. They can take advantage of that from the January. So that'll be running through the rest of this month. Any questions?
And there's a lot of competition amongst fitness centers. Why should we join Lake Forest Rec Center, Fitness Center?
I think the one thing is the community feel. It's not an oversized super mega club that you kind of get lost from the staff, from the trainers, from the front desk staff. So I think the community feel, we have everything that most people would ever want in a gym as far as equipment goes. And we just may not have as many pieces of it, but I think we can offer quality equipment, quality staff, the convenience of the location, I think, and the price, I think, is very attractive as well. So I think those are all key points in why someone would be interested in joining our facility.
Great. Any other questions?
Do you have a program in place to try to contact the 200 members that left and entice them to come back?
Kim and I have talked about that. What we'd like to do would be to send out an invitation to all the members that have memberships have expired through the course of this last year or so, and send them an invitation, a personal invitation to come back. So we have thought about different ways of doing that.
I think if you can reactivate them, because they've already been there.
Right.
And with some type of incentive.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our members have been members for quite some time since the facility has opened. And again, going back to what Jason said, I think the really nice part is that if you're not there, if you miss a workout, we're going to notice, and our staff is going to notice. And I think that's one of the best things. I think a lot of the members also, just from what I've seen, because I've almost been there for 8 years, a lot of the people who haven't renewed their membership have moved, or a lot of job relocations. I think that's what we're seeing a lot of. So I think, when we do notice, like for instance, I had a situation where I noticed a lady had come in and hadn't been there for a while, and I just asked, what's going on? How can we help you? And she said, I was out for a little bit of time. And I think when that type of situation happens, we do our best to accommodate them. If it's a medical freeze, or if they leave over the holidays or have a snowbird membership, because of that small feeling, we really try to really make sure that that's something that we can meet. And with a smaller fitness center such as ours, we're able to do that and meet the community's needs.
Great.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our director's report. Mary Van Arsdale was unable to make it tonight, and Dan Reeves is sitting in for her.
Hi. I have a few of Mary's updates, and I'll just read them to you from the rec center. We have a dodgeball tournament on Monday, January 17th, the day when there's no school, called the Dodgeball Classic. And it's for kids in grades 1 to adults. Kinderhaven is having an open house on Saturday, January 22nd, for the Recreation Center. Kinderhaven Preschool Academy.
Thanks. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
The Kinderhaven Preschool Academy is for children 33 to 66 months old, and registration for next fall begins February 1st for new students. We have a cross-country ski and snowshoe rental. Equipment is available for daily or weekend use. We have sizes for kids and adults. The Deer Park Golf Course has made trails to use, as well as Lake Forest open lands. West Park outdoor ice skating. We've really had some great ice this year. We've started earlier than we usually do. Parks crew's been working day and night to make sure the ice is in good shape. You can call 234-6702 before heading over there to make sure it's open, because on days like today, we do have to do train platforms and other safety items, shoveling before we get to the ice skating ponds. And finally, the spring and summer brochure will be mailed out in mid-February. There'll be a separate pull-out section for summer camp information. So look for that in the mail. It should be exciting.
Yep. Great.
That concludes the director's report.
Okay. Thank you very much. Comments by the board members?
Got a couple questions in my mind. In our last board meeting in November, Dan, we spent quite a bit of time talking about the capital budget for next year, and we had identified our 7 preferred projects, et cetera. Can you update us on what happened with the city council? Were they all approved, or where do we stand on the capital budget?
The 7 capital items are on the list for the Park and Recreation, and City Council hasn't approved the budget completely yet. That won't happen until, I think, the next meeting is February 22nd.
Okay.
So it's still in the process. It
Okay.
looks good.
It looks good, good. Just secondly, there was a Lake County Forest Preserve meeting, public meeting on the Fort Sheridan Golf Course. Did anything significant occur at that meeting, do you know?
You know, Mary was there and I was not. I haven't heard if anything has changed in that.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's all right. Thanks.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Opportunities for the public to address the board. And since we have some guests here. Okay. Not to put you on the spot. If there's nothing else, I'd be motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.
Nice and efficient record time.
What?
Yeah, short meeting.